The Pacific Northwest to the Midwest to the Eastern Seaboard. We have a lot to break down for you today on Weather Underground. I'm Alex Wilson alongside our expert, Dr. Rick Knabb. Truly coast-to-coast active weather.
Yeah, we have one more big day of lake effect snow in the Buffalo area, but then there's more snow coming from the Midwest toward Buffalo and toward the Northeast again. They're going to get another round of snow.
It's like when you bring enough to the party for everyone.
Yeah, but we have, unfortunately, several more days of cold, Arctic cold.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the cold is going to be an issue in terms of dangerous conditions once again. Below average by 20, 25, even 30 degrees for the late part of the week. And then again, you mentioned indigo. It's moving off towards the east today, tonight, and into the day tomorrow. So we've got another shot of snow. It's a 2-for-1 this week across parts of the Northeast.
And we're getting a 2 on Arctic high pressure systems. One is moving out, but another one coming down from Canada today to make another bone-chilling weekend for a lot of us on the east of the Rockies.
There's going to be a lot of people, a little narrower timing. First, we give you a virtual view of what it's going to look like in the city. We started with the blue skies, and of course, then the snow moves in, and I guess first the clouds have to move in, and then the snow starts falling. So we'll get that nice snow once again, coating the landscape, looking really pretty out there. There go the clouds. Here comes the snow. All right, let's take a peek at your timing. Of course, everybody wants to know, all right, when is the snow going to come down the heaviest? Well, for the Chicago area, I think your late day commute is going to be okay. It's going to be right after that we see the snow really move in earnest. So I'd say mid to late evening, that's when you can really anticipate some more of that steadier, heavier snow as well. So moderate snow falling for Naperville, for Joliet, for Hammond, for Chicago, quickly moving out by Friday afternoon. You can see generally quiet, maybe a snow shower or two here, but this is really a tonight into tomorrow morning event for the city of Chicago. How much snow to come? Well, we've got probably around 2 inches for most of the areas. Then we will see that northwesterly wind kick in. That's going to allow some lake effect to come in on the south shores of Lake Michigan, south and southeast shores. So that's why we've got that hot spot. Don't think that they're getting like better storm than you are. It's just because lake effect, that wind direction will remain over the lakes, and that cold air that follows the storm will promote the lake effect. Columbus area down to Cincinnati, probably again around 2 inches. This is not going to be a big deal storm. It's going to be just enough to make things a little bit tricky on the roads, especially tomorrow's morning commute for places like Columbus and Cincinnati. So you can see this afternoon, evening, we've got the snow showers really arriving during the overnight hours. So a few bursts of snow here and there. It's pretty light snow. Overnight, that's when we'll see that moderate snow continue. So that's why I say tomorrow's morning drive could be a troublesome one with still some light snow falling. Visibility will be and then tomorrow afternoon looking better and drier, better visibilities as well for parts of central and southeastern sections of Ohio. Dr. Knabb?
And Alex, I would say the
icy weather than it is snow. So I want to take a more in-depth and visual look at what we could be seeing, because we've got to look at the column of air, not just at the surface in Nashville, but up aloft. So we start aloft with snow showers, right? Temperatures below freezing. At 5,000 feet, we're at 28 degrees, just below 32 at 4,000 feet. But once we get to 3,000 feet and 2,000 feet, you notice that temperature shifts on the warm side of 32. So those snowflakes begin to melt. Now we have raindrops coming down. However, right around 1,500 feet through the lower levels of the atmosphere, we go back below freezing. So those raindrops freeze into pellets of ice, otherwise known as sleet. You hear it? Yeah, sleet has a beat, our winter weather expert used to say. So out of the two ice precip types, sleet or freezing rain, sleet is better, but ultimately it's still ice. Now we look at 3 o'clock. So we're going to move forward in time. We're still keeping those lower levels of the atmosphere on the cold side, but we still have that warm layer aloft. Even at 4 o'clock, 33 degrees now at 3,000 feet, but we're down below 32 degrees. Again, right around 1,500 feet. So that's deep enough that those raindrops have time to freeze. If it was a very shallow layer of cold air at the surface, then you'd be looking at that glazing on contact. How about 5 o'clock? You can see 1,000 foot temperatures around 28. So we've got some serious cooling between 2,000 feet and 1,000 feet. We're going to keep the sleet pellets bouncing off our windshields and off of surfaces. You're going to hear this sound for the late day commute. Now, if we were to warm things up a little bit and say that 1,000 foot temperature would be around 32 and we kept temperatures fairly steady, but we had that shallow layer of cold air, then you would be looking at that freezing rain, and that would be a very different ball game. But with that said, we're still going to be dealing with ice pellets into some areas that are still covered with snow. Now, obviously, Broadway was fine. We didn't have any of that snow on the roadway, but areas that are still covered with snow, now ice on it. Unfortunately, that could make things slick. But again, Dr. Knabb, when we talk about the two ice precip types of potential, you always want to go with sleet, but it's still going to be tricky.
Yeah, freezing rain.